Well, they either do it over 90 minutes tonight and create a little history, but Paraguay have never previously beaten Argentina across over 90 minutes at this competition. They could, of course, finish with a draw during that period of time and beat them on penalties tonight to progress to the final. But here we go. Commentators for the rest of the world, Phil Blacker, and for the Americas, Ray Hudson and Phil Shane.
And a beautiful welcome to a rather smoggy Concepcion as we are just about ready for kickoff. The photographs to start us out as Paraguay surprise entrance in this Final Four, taking on what has to be the favorites to win it all and end a 22-year drought, Argentina. The Rojo against the Albiceleste. It is Paraguay and Argentina. Phil Shane and Ray Hudson live from Concepcion. And Ray, this is an Argentina side that could feel confident coming in, but for the fact that these two teams faced each other in the group stage, and in the second half, Paraguay showed what they could do.
That's right. They're not here by accident. They've got great resolve, and this is the World Cup finalists, of course, against the Copa America finalists of 4 years ago. The quality is there in abundance in Argentina, but it hasn't been the swagger that we're accustomed to, either from Messi or the Albiceleste, by their magisterial high standards. Who would have thought Roque Santa Cruz would be carrying his battered body through yet another Copa America? But he's been their inspiration. The big number 9 has been an absolute go-to man, and he has been hung faith with Ramon Diaz, the Argentina coach. On the other side, of course, Tata Martino knows all about Paraguayan football. He's been in charge of that team and inspired that country to greater heights than ever before. But here today, Argentina have got to produce the real stardust. The first 45 minutes against Paraguay for Argentina were absolutely spellbinding, arguably the best football they have played. But now, I'm not so sure that they're going to be anywhere near as complacent as they were in that first game. I think in this game tonight we'll see a much greater edge about them. They'll certainly not be allowing Paraguay the space that they did in that second half. Have they learned their lesson?
Well, lessons learned or otherwise, this is going to be a goal for history for Paraguay. They have never beaten Argentina in Copa America play.
Yeah.
Sandro Ricci, the Brazilian referee, he's already been in a few dogfights, both involving Uruguay. Let's see what Paraguay might have to offer.
Well, they've got a lot to offer, Phil. Just ask Brazil. They were absolutely wonderful against the Brazilians. And there's a belief in Los Guaranis camp that they're going to produce the real upset of the tournament.
And we are underway. The red and white of Paraguay, the sky blue and white of Argentina. And if you can make it out through the haze, television cameras maybe not capturing all of it, but a huge pall of smoke over this stadium in Concepcion. The Municipal, a lot of the people in the area have the chimneys going full steam. It is rather chilly, temperature in the low 50s and continuing to drop. Just adding to the atmosphere, though. Over to the far side, Zabaleta cutting in. It's Zabaleta, Di Michelis, Otamendi, and Rojo along the back. Mascherano, Biglia, Pastore, Di Maria, Aguero, and Messi, who is looking to try and end a rather long personal scoring drought for Argentina. Approaching 900 minutes without a goal from the run of play in official matches.
Nothing too complicated about his team, Ramon Diaz's Paraguay side. 4-4-2. Ask Andy Gray all about that. He wrote a wonderful book about it. And they'll attack down their flanks when they get the chance. They'll push up adventurously with the wing-backs in support, but more often than not, they're just a stay-at-home flat-back four and defending a deep, deep block. But here's a good chance for a break.
And Roque Santa Cruz showing his dribbling skills in for Ido Valdez. Makes the run over to the near side for Derlis Gonzalez, the hero in the last match in somewhat bittersweet surroundings. Touched away to Messi, and now the other way. It's
Great
Pastore.
overlap. Oh, he's gone to the right.
Looking for Aguero, and he's bursting his lungs to get there.
Di Maria wide open down this left side. Lovely switch of play from Pastore.
Now back for Zabaleta. Roncaglia had been playing in Zabaleta's absence, but since the Man City man stepping in, they've shored out that right flank. Now Di Maria on the left.
And sharp, slick football. We saw this pitch being well watered before the game. That's a great ball.
Aguero at the top, tries to cut inside, tackled away, but offside in the process. Aguilar got a touch, and a little over anxious Zabaleta. Expect goals today, Ray. Only one shutout in the last 6 games by Paraguay against Argentina. Only one shutout in the last 6 games overall.
It's a strange
against Jamaica.
Strange, exactly. I was just going to say, Phil, it's a strange advance for both teams. Both teams struggling against the islanders of Jamaica. But credit to that team. They really did well, the Reggae boys, up against both these sides.
Sandro Ricci, second match for Argentina in this tournament. The first was that 1-0 war against Uruguay with 6 yellow cards, and could have been more. Also in charge of Chile's 1-0 against Uruguay. That, of course, the Cavani caper. Whipped inside off the left, flies all the way past 3 red jerseys. Tracking it down on the near side, Derlis Gonzalez.
Just skipped by past Pablo Aguilar. Very close to finding him. That's a nice ball.
Ortiz into the area, trying to cut back his Cáceres, and the captain dispossessed, but out for a throw. 64th appearance for Victor Cáceres. The Flamengo midfielder, the heart and soul of this Paraguay side. His brother also on the bench in defense. Ball lifted forward, no problem for Romero.
Well, as everybody knows, coming from 2-0 down, Ramon Diaz's man really set Tata Martino's man a serious set of helter-skelter problems in that game, and arguably Argentina did well to hold on.
Down into the corner, Di Maria with a burst of speed, a little stumble by the veteran Da Silva, but he's going to get there. Launches it up the right sideline, kept in play by Pastore. Flying through Messi, dances around Valdez. Di Maria, Pastore, Villa trying to switch but didn't get it all. Second effort, but then dispossessed. Aido Valdez is back.
Good passage of play by the Albiceleste there. Villa trying to find the coming Pablo Zabaleta. Pushing up on that far side as always, and Rojo on this near side. 2 wonderful players that are accustomed to leaving their defensive positions to really great effect.
In the center, Messi. Token pressure, launching it long. Aguero giving chase. He'll get there. Cuts inside of Pires. Didn't start the first few games. Now on his off foot and helping out on that left.
The early going, these players all getting accustomed to this super slick surface. There's another good example.
And now a chance to catch up 4-on-4 if they hurry. Out wide, Derlis Gonzalez if they can use him. Weaves back to the inside to Santa Cruz, but the pass goes awry. Good step up by Da Silva. Driving it in, Aido Valdez, back for Santa Cruz, and he cannons his volley wide.
Wonderful football, cut and thrust. Fabulous rapier ball for Nelson Aido Valdez. And it's a beautiful little kiss header right in the straight for Santa Cruz. There's nowhere close, but that's good penetrative football. And they do not close any of those passes down anywhere close to urgently enough. Fair warning served by Paraguay. Excellent attack.
Villa, ex-Anderlecht, now Lazio. But Ray, you tend to think that this Argentina side works a little bit better with Ever Banega out there.
Well, I do, but it doesn't matter what I care. It's certainly a class player in Villa. just think he's been a little bit off of colour lately.
Melia.
He had a wonderful World Cup, as I said, and he really does. That's
Nice
a great
ball.
pass again.
Mascherano for Pastore.
You know, that example of beating the lines.
Di Maria beaten to it by Da Silva, though. Now flying forward, Valdez, the converted center back. One of those players who's in danger of missing the final if he gets a yellow here today. Run through that list in a bit.
Well, let's take a look at that again.
And of course, stay in the game on T-Mobile's Data Strong network. People who use the most data choose T-Mobile. Melia in the center circle.
It's a great early example for this man on the ball. As I said, beating that first press and then that second lane in between the defenders in that midfield four. It's one of the real great advantages that comes out of this man, who's playing very deep.
Tackled away. Paraguay dropping back. Not exactly two lines of four, but they are compressed in the midfield. And still with a relatively high line, almost daring Argentina to send it long.
I think it's a perfectly drawn up 4-4-2, Phil. I don't think you'll see much variation from Ramon Diaz here tonight, but there's wide men supporting a nice group. Gonzalez and Benitez, both good, sprightly players.
To Zabaleta. Taken away, poke free for Cáceres on the turn. Ido Valdez, but too far for Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz not the sprightly youngster anymore, 33 years of age, but arguably the second most dominant center forward next to Cruz. Guerrero. Good pressure. Of course, Guerrero out, waiting for a third place showdown. Handball pops up. Ricci calls it. Hard to say that was intentional, but you'll see it all the time. Sandro Ricci, the 40-year-old out of Minas Gerais, in the semi-final.
Cautious approach being displayed by both teams. Quick, slow. It's nearly a nice dagger ball.
Otamendi's pass intercepted, though. Valdez threads it forward to Richard Ortiz. One of the changes in this lineup out of Sinaloa. Ball into the middle. Again for Cáceres. Batted away off of Mascherano and out for a throw-in.
Just reflecting on that chance that Santa Cruz had there a few moments ago. You cannot afford to let too many fish off the hook like that, Phil. Yes, certainly you say that all the time, but against this Argentina side, you know they're going to create magic going forward. And it's just a poor effort in the end by Santa Cruz, pulling that so far away to the target. Beautiful setup. A foul throw that's not given.
Never see that anymore. Headed back, cleared back to midfield, Mascherano. Off to the near side, Marcos Rojo. Otamendi. Rojo, of course, at United, still waiting to find out where Otamendi ends up. The Valencia man, one of the hottest properties, and done nothing to cool that off in this tournament. Messi slaloms to the inside. Melia threads it through. Far side, Zabaleta cuts it back on the volley. Pastore, but he didn't get it all. Saved by the birthday boy, Justo Villar.
Again, great link up. Messi had started it earlier. Great run by Zabaleta, and he picks that one out beautifully. Pastore turning and spanking. First time off that slick surface again. The ball doesn't rub for him, and it's a lot more tougher discipline to strike the ball sweetly, cleanly, with enough power. But again, threat from the Albiceleste in a beautiful way.
Patience now. Not exactly what we saw last night in the first semi-final between Chile and Peru.
Yeah.
First 20 minutes, a dogfight.
Well, it was really devil take the hindmost, wasn't it? It was wonderful. And this game's taking on a different personality altogether in both ways. Both playing rather conservatively, but Argentina showing that they can string a pearl of passes together. Really.
Well, the pearl.
Paraguay goes a little bit more direct.
Down goes Derlis, and reaching for his pocket, Ricci. First foul, screams Otamendi, but it's going to be Rojo in the book.
Again, this surface, players able to turn on it, and that's obviously a very late reach in by the ex-Estudiantes man, Rojo. Certainly no signs of nerves at all from Ramon Diaz's men. Due respect being shown, but you know, playing with good confidence going forward, and he seems sure in defence of locking up a danger man like this. Double coverage, 1-1 coming.
Di Maria tripped up. Advantage was being played. Belia screaming now. He's saying that he might have been able to do something, but gets a yellow for his effort.
Oh.
And again, this could prove costly. Di Maria is down. Seemed to get hooked as he tried to slalom through two.
It's Victor Caceres and Richard Ortiz that come to make a triple team on him in the end, and they both get a piece of him. Cannot run without your legs, and they send the message home to him.
Couldn't quite tell if Belia was arguing that it should have continued, or that maybe there should have been more punishment on the foul. Regardless, he's the one that goes in the book. Mentioned, if you got a yellow in the quarters and you get a yellow today, that means you'll be watching with the rest of us when it comes final time, if you're fortunate enough to advance. And there are 5 players on the pitch and 6 players in all who are facing that. Aguilar on the back line for Paraguay with Valdez got yellows in their quarterfinal. But for more important purposes, Mascherano, Aguero, and Lionel Messi all in danger of missing out if they get a caution today. Derlis Gonzalez backing up.
Lovely space for Leo to hit in between that 18-yard box and this goalkeeper, Gusto Villar. You know, he can drop a pint of beer into a shot glass at the targets here.
Whipped in above the spot, falls at the 6 and blasted home. Falling to the ground, it's Rojo, but he brings up a huge goal for Argentina. One step towards the final.
There's a little bit of a kiss header, I believe, or may have just found its way through by magic, but either way, Rojo is onto this sharper than vinegar. Take a look at this pitch of a pass from Messi. It goes through the forest of players. They cannot get it out of dodge. It's very close to being done beautifully. Another look at it. Great curve and swerve on it. It snap, crackle, and then pop. Back of the net for Argentina. Albi Celeste 1-0, and Rojo goes disco.
Meanwhile, Paraguay quickly pushing forward. Chance now for Da Silva, and the big man tries to blast it through. Rojo deflects far side.
Ooh, well played.
Dancing around the challenge, sliding in Benitez. But the cross goes high and wide.
Wonderful pace, and this is good covering in the end and forcing him. There's no space for him. Well covered by Belia.
Deflected inside. Huge moment in this game for Paraguay. Cannot afford to let Argentina break out to a 2-goal lead. I don't know if there'd be a comeback like there was in the group stage.
Well, it would have been big odds with the English bookmakers who's going to score first, but Rojo, absolutely killer blow.
Throw in for Argentina on the far side. Zabaleta making his 52nd appearance. Ball pops up and another handball call, this one against Aguero. Well, Ramon Diaz might just save himself some money if the scoreline holds, but he doesn't care. Interesting efforts to try and get his team motivated as the ball knocked back into Silva in chase. Back to VR, who will blast it upfield. Already twice in this tournament, he has promised his players pickup trucks for victories. Guessing one was for winning the group or getting through the group stage. He said there's a third pickup on the way if they can beat Argentina tonight.
Good intricate football from Paraguay again, linking up nicely, sharply, but good covering from the goal scorer. That's 5 Argentina players now on a yellow card in jeopardy of missing the final.
Villa, of course, would miss the rest of this game if he gets another one, and Paraguay will take every advantage they can get. They didn't need much of an advantage in the second half last time, Ray. They also had a stellar second half against Brazil.
Yeah.
Maybe Diaz needs to tell his team it's the second half when they step out.
A better team in that game for my money. And they'll be a little bit dispirited, falling down to what can only be termed a scrappy goal.
Silva.
But credit where credit's due. The genesis of it came from the number 10. The absolutely 24-carat delivery right into the danger area. Always underestimate that. You see so many of them wasted, but Messi provided the platform for something to happen once the danger was sent in there by that Stradivarius of a left foot of his.
Lofted by Gonzalez. Settled outside the area. Back to Ortiz. Tried to tee it up, but blocked. Good hustle by Pires.
Unlucky there. Aguero just pops free of him.
Santa Cruz towering, led with an elbow, it appeared. Referee says no. Chance now for Paraguay with Otamendi out of position. Oh, hurdling the challenge is Derlis Gonzalez, and then swinging through again, Di Maria. And now Ricci looks like he wants to have a talk.
Well, and certainly the Argentina players having talks, and we cannot repeat the words. That's a little bit aggressive. Here's the first challenge, arms and elbows leading the way as usual. Nothing too different in that. But this is, take a look at this from Di Maria. A wonderful stab in, and
that was
gambling a little bit in that motion of that rash swing, but he read it beautifully.
Well, then again, Di Maria very vital. We saw that in the World Cup final last time. Of course, they were also missing a lot of players at full peak. Aguero hampered much of the later stages. No Tevez, but he is here, and he has played a role. Snapped away. Di Michelis. Tevez, the winning penalty in the tiebreaker last time. Messi getting it back. Messi pulling away, forced to his right by Ortiz, back to his left, finds Pastore, drives it in low, and VR drops the apron and forces it wide.
Well, Messi again, enforcing his brilliant skill on this ball. He makes something out of nothing. He creates magic, and then the ball disappears right into stride for Pastore. It's a good whisk, well covered by Justo VR, but Messi absolutely radiant on that run. Had no right to control the first pass, which we missed in that replay. That was jaw-dropping in itself, but then to fold up the space that he did, just magic.
Five in the area for Argentina, just over the head of Rojo. Of course, the winner with a busy Saturday in the final against the host Chile. The losers will be playing Friday night against Peru.
Yeta getting pushed. It seemed to be but the referee allowing it to play on. Zabaleta thought he was going to get the call right here. That's a push, clear and simple. The Man City line gets up and looks to take. Cannot believe his eyes. It went the other way. Poor Pablo.
Da Silva, along with Aguilar, rocks in that back.
A lot of players for Argentina that won the Youth World Cup a lot of years ago playing in this game. It will be the first tournament, of course, has been repeated so many times for the senior squad of Argentina for many, many years. This is their chance, their field.
Paraguay pushing forward, but down a man. Derlis Gonzalez getting treated on the sideline after that collision with Zabaleta. Ball blasted away. It'll be a throw-in about 30 yards out for Paraguay. And this looks serious. Derlis Gonzalez, one of the heroes, mentioned that the game-tying penalty in regulation, the game-winning penalty in the tiebreaker, but a very emotional experience for all Paraguayans, maybe a little too emotional. His uncle actually had a heart attack and passed away.
He's a good part of that resurgent Basel team and quality football at the young age of 21. Nicely, beautiful. Oh.
Looking for Ido Valdez, but he couldn't get past Zabaleta. Mascherano's pass deflected, intercepted by Aguilar. Back to his feet is Derlis Gonzalez, but he's reaching back at that hamstring on his right leg. Might be asking a lot, especially against a team like Argentina.
Be a good example. Argentina built this 1-0 lead, and you can see already they're not taking anything for granted. Offside.
Flag comes up.
Aguero. Second in that first game against Paraguay. They'll have learned their lesson, even if they don't pad this lead out to 2. Another good sweet run. A lot of good players leaving. Very, very sharp, rabbit quick. Kun Aguero, the point of the glinting spearhead.
Nice hustle by Paraguay, but tenacious defense Argentina. Pulling it back, Ido Valdez. Ball flipped forward by Cáceres. Blasts in on Santa Cruz. Cuts back away from the pressure of Di Maria. Gonzalez back on the field, showing no signs of being worse for wear. Oh, now a little with that hamstring. Turning the corner, Valdez to the goal line and ridden down by Rojo.
Look at the placement of this referee right on top of this wonderful run. Rojo holds with him. Valdez rounds a corner like trap 6 at the track. And Rojo fighting him off it. It's mano against mano.
Gonzalez down again. Looks like they'll have to make a switch.
Wonderful hesitation, and then there's that reach in from, and that's where it occurred right here. He's stepping onto the ball, and that's the right leg that he pushed down on the ball. And just then, when Di Maria snapped in on the tackle, pretty strange set of events. Here's another look at the quality goal. Pura calidad in terms of the service. And then it may be, by Argentina standard, as ugly as the witch's nose with warts on, but he don't care.
Meanwhile, it looks like we're about ready to get our first switch as Tata and Diaz look on. Raúl Bobadilla stepping onto the pitch. German-based attacker. Maybe even a little bit more of a forward player than the man he replaces in Gonzalez. Remember, there is no extra time until the final. So using a substitute this early, not as lethal as it could be. Good ball for pass.
Oh, fabulous!
The pass and the shot, and Argentina has doubled its lead.
And this is where, right here, that lovely ball inside, played beautifully in from Zabaleta. Pastorius says, I see you, man. I don't need you. Wallop. And then it bulges the net. Wonderful strike on the slick surface. Tremendous play full credit to Pablo Zabaleta. I had thought that it was Belia, but it was Zabaleta who played that intuitive ball inside against the run of the grain when the overlap was on. A wonderful selection of passes from Argentina.
And by the way, even worse news now. Not only have they given up 2 goals in the opening half, but now it's Santa Cruz that seems to have pulled up lame. They've already had to burn 1 substitution. Now down 2 goals, they might have to make another.
He's done for the day. All right, Phil. 33-year-old now, the big 6'3" man from Cruz Azul. A wonderful player and has been an inspiration for Ramon Diaz's Paraguay, and he cannot believe it. The captain's got to limp out of the battlefield. And as usual, it takes wild horses to pull him off, but cannot run without that leg, and it's a hamstring that's popped.
So, down a man as they get set to make more switches, although Santa Cruz still at midfield just in case. Argentina found it hard to score goals, so now going to more unlikely sources. Rojo just his second, and Pastore more of a playmaker, just his second.
Oh,
is it going to be enough?
Close of finding Messi. That was a back heel rainbow pass from Di Maria. He's in.
Chance in the box, but blasted by Da Silva.
That's a great tackle from Da Silva. Aguero wriggles free of his leash, and Da Silva comes swooping in. Wonderful defending from the 35-year-old man.
Mascherano wide for Zabaleta. Only a little over a quarter hour left in this opening half. I don't think Tata Martino needs to let this team know that a 2-0 lead against Paraguay is not necessarily safe.
Oh,
Da Silva going through the back, and this time reaching for his pocket, Sandro Ricci.
Again, fabulous build-up, and Kun Aguero gets a chunk kicked out of his calf the size of a filet mignon from the back, and the referee sees it. Lovely ball that Messi wanted back, and Kun Aguero, never backing away, steps in. And there's the pop of poor Rocky. Who's it gone at?
Lucas Barrios, already a hero. He was the one that scored that game-tying goal in injury time in group play. But now stepping in for Santa Cruz, and Paraguay down 2 goals and down to their last substitution with an hour to play.
Well, the first one had a little bit of the capricious nature to it, a little bit of lady luck on it for Messi's go-ahead goal. The second was nothing other than an absolute string of pearls put together, and all around the neck of Gusto Villar in the end by Pastore.
Lifted up and over, no problem for Villar.
No other player in the world hears the derision when he gets it wrong, the way Messi does. No chance on the second goal, did he? A lovely triggered home shot from the PSG man, who's had a wonderful season and has really emerged as one of the favourites of the Albiceleste. Key player, really has been producing insightful passes and wonderful invention, Pastore.
Right from a Paraguay perspective right now, trailing by 2 goals, already seeing 2 starters knocked out due to injury. Here's some good pressure, forcing it free. Barrios with a little touch, and he'll give chase. In for Cáceres, pulls away. Ortiz now. Delicate touch, laid forward, trying to send it free, but unable to do so as Bobadilla denied.
Lucas Belia saying his apologies after dwelling on the ball and inviting a challenge in. Again, Paraguay have seen this scoreline before, You take heart in the fact that they fought back in the Braveheart fashion. That's a good ball.
Glancing header up, but high. No chance for Cáceres. What does Ramon Diaz need to do? Let's say that they can get to the half and keep it at least at 2.
Here's another look at this. Beautiful give, go, get, and then this absolute hammer blow. Messi sees the run, dictating his pass. He's in like the proverbial fox in the hen house. Wonderful touch to control and settle. An absolute grandiose finish from the French-based man and celebration.
And Ray, again, for a Paraguay team right now that's finding themselves falling further and further away from getting back to the final for the second straight tournament. What do they have to do to shut down Argentina and turn this game around?
Got to look towards his great strength in these Paraguayan sides, which is a never say die attitude, and take a gamble or two. He'd look to get them into the locker room right now, but that's going to have to wait. He's missing 2 big guns now, Phil, and that just adds to the pleasure in his camp. Everything going Argentina's way here today, but they don't even have the option of finding that direct route into Roque Santa Cruz. Is always a wonderful way to vary your play in that direct manner, because they've got those players that can run off of him, but he's not in the races anymore.
Nice from Pires.
He's
pressured in their own area.
It's an enormous task. They're facing a slippery slope now, but they draw faith from that previous situation they were in, where really after that first half, when they were 2-0 down in the first game, Argentina were playing better than they're playing now. And Paraguay still came back.
Could have been 5 or 6-0 at the half, but they regretted their wastefulness later. Messi now approaching 900 minutes in official competition without a goal scored, but he has set up 2 tonight. And Argentina will take that and a ticket to the final against Chile if they can hold on. Otamendi. Mascherano. Di Maria just a little early to the races. Well, the second goal seems to have taken some of the wind out of the Paraguayans who have made the trek to Concepcion. Pass to the inside, stolen. Aguero. Messi trying to pull it back, but can't. Good hustle by Ortiz. Better hustle by Boliva.
Beautiful ball from Mascherano.
Pastore sends it wide. Now Messi draws 3, gets rid of it quickly. Scooped forward, Pastore. Messi in the 6, but got there first at Villar.
Yeah, wonderful link up here. Again, on the run. An impossible situation facing Pastore there. Couldn't knife his ball through, so he goes rainbow style. And Messi not able to pull the pot of gold out that time. Well covered by his goalkeeper.
Great Eric Cantona coming out this year, putting the spotlight on Pastore, saying that he was the best in the world.
He's certainly one of the best players for PSG, no question about that. That's wonderful skill again. Messi with that left boot with a velvet cushion tied around it, but getting pushed through. Ivan Pires.
Di Maria shows Otamendi just a little too much. Boliva with the deflection, slamming it high into there. Di Michelis. Good eye, in case you missed it, a late scratch. Stomach virus, they say. Di Michelis always nice to have on the bench in reserve. Threaded in for Di Maria. Keeps an eye in the middle for Aguero, just getting a touch. Cáceres dropping back. Lifted forward, Mascherano. Acrobatic from Messi. Punched away Villar, and still in play. Di Maria again. Oh, pops away from Bobadilla. Pastore shows it and plucks it away.
Oh,
Di Maria back for Pastore. Drops for Aguero. Stripped away.
Again,
Ortiz
affordable football from the Albiceleste in a variety of ways. It's like an ant farm attack. There's so many passages to contain, and that's another foul against Messi. Great attitude when he goes get hacked down, dusts himself down, and this is Messi territory on the direct route. Richard Ortiz saying you shall not pass.
Only about 8 minutes left in the opening half.
This is another fabulous ball from Mascherano. He cuts his pass finer than frog's hair, but he still cannot measure it down for Messi. But a wonderful attempt from his teammate at Barcelona.
Messi with the left. Bilia standing over the ball, likely just window dressing. 5-man wall. Actually now just 4 as they peel away. Messi from about 30.
Well, one of those when the dynamic pops off his boot, it looked as if that ball was going to keep down and swing in, but it's a little wide for the bend to be bothering Gusto Villar. Been a long time since Lionel Messi scored for Argentina. Coming up to
about 900 minutes in the run of play.
Open play, yeah.
Although he did get the penalty earlier this tournament, but
sure,
it is an issue, especially when you take a look at how prolific he has been for Barcelona. 411 goals, 482 games.
The manner in which he's setting up his teammates as well has got to come into account.
Throw in from Valdez, right near the 6. Otamendi pops away. Cáceres to Ortiz, still loose, but a push in the box.
As you say,
against
Phil,
Benitez.
when you figure in that he's got Messi to contain, and he was involved in both goals, of course, here tonight. But for Leo's amazing standards, not being able to hit the back of the net in open play for over 13 hours is pretty significant. It's pretty amazing. Stretches all the way back to November.
Little touch to the inside. Da Silva lunges to reach it. Pastore dropping back to defend.
Open targets in the box. He's found him.
Nice ball in for Ido Valdez. Tries to sweep it through Di Michelis. Blasted by Ortiz. Deflected wide, and Paraguay will take the corner.
Well, that slack defending inside of the area, for me, was very obvious. Ido Valdez very much in the clear. And he's nicely found. Da Silva picking him out. Very close.
Paraguay. This will swing away. 5 in the box. Bobadilla ready to pounce. He's good in the air, the Augsburg man. Looking for the middle, deflected away. Trying to knock down Aguero. Easier said than done.
He intended to kick him.
Nice.
Clip him, but he stayed up and paid the price.
Ortiz with the good tackle. Bobadilla wants it back. Falls for Ido Valdez. Off of Di Michelis in wide. Paraguay starting to wake up as we approach the half.
Yeah, there's that laxness again that's emerged in that first game, and we've seen it here. Wonderful ball played into Ido Valdez, and that's great defending on the run.
2-0 the score. Headed up. Out comes Romero, then thinks twice, trying to volley it, but a foul is Aguilar ruled to have pushed. Back to Romero. Calm under pressure, finds Otamendi. Now Barrios, and he blasts it home past the outstretched hand of Romero, and Paraguay's back in it.
Oh, this is a wonder strike from Lucas Barrios. Again, it's beautifully won, and he is free as a bird in the park, and then that slingshot is absolutely phenomenal. And this whistles by the keeper. Wonderful strike to draw it within a goal.
Villa taken down in a collision with Ortiz. Messi having a word with the Brazilian ref. Just a free kick. 9th goal for Lucas Barrios. Mentioned the hero off the bench the first time these two teams met in this tournament, and he's doing it again. That is a huge goal, Ray. Still a half to go.
Just a few minutes from getting him in the locker room. What an absolute spirit inflator that one is, and made Argentina pay. Here they are again.
Valdez, why not? Don't forget, stay tuned for the Express halftime show brought to you by Volkswagen. And that goal bringing plenty more to the equation here today. Maybe not quite ready to print those tickets with Chile and Argentina. Romero again. Otamendi bundled over, and a foul. Paraguay starting to try and impose themselves.
Here's another look at it. It's won beautifully upstairs by Bruno Valdez, but then this one is onto and capitalized upon absolutely superlatively.
Ex-Dortmund striker now back with Montpellier. Spent some time in Russia and China before heading back to Western Europe, and his performance in this Copa could make him an even more wanted man.
Still got to look at Mascherano there, though, Phil, to be honest. He's dropped his concentration, expecting that ball to be won after it got played up to his forward man. When it was intercepted, he was 5 yards away from the goal scorer.
In added time, pass back Mascherano. Barrios lurking, but a strong enough pass for Romero. Took till the 92nd minute to get the equalizer in group play. Can they get one just before the half? Paraguay seems to be the more energetic side. Chance for Valdez, gets around Di Maria.
Good ball.
Pushes it wide.
He's
Flag
on.
stays down. Bobadilla.
Brilliant.
Bobadilla drives, and he sends it high. Everything but the final touch as we have reached the half.
Bobadilla, absolutely wonderful. Applies the ceramic brakes and puts Rojo down on his back like a turtle. Take a look. It's a lovely dagger ball. It might have been offside, but he don't care. He sets himself up for that top corner strike. A wonderful hammer blow, but doesn't have the rapier type accuracy. Lovely settle for himself, but would it take a wonder hit for that postage stamp to be painted. But Paraguay roar back.
Well, one goal from one substitute in Barrios, and Bobadilla almost followed suit. 2 goals early, set up by Messi from Rojo and Di Maria. But then Barrios makes things interesting at the break, and it looks like he's got plans for more. Sandro Ricci about ready to get us started in the second half, and we are underway. 2 early goals again for Argentina, but Paraguay perhaps starting their comeback a bit early. Bobadilla flying down the line, bringing down Rojo. And now Argentina quickly restarting. In the last match, it took until added time for Lucas Barrios to send it to a 2-all draw. Tata Martino, hopefully with a different halftime speech if you're an Argentina fan. Messi launching it long. Burst of speed from Di Maria. But VR is out. Phil Shane, Ray Hudson with you. And Ray, injuries obviously a concern. 2 players already down for Paraguay, and Nelson Ido Valdez favoring that groin muscle. They only have 1 sub left, but there is no extra time. Still down by just a goal in a first half that Argentina maybe could have stretched a bit.
Certainly, and both the subs that have come in for Paraguay have not let the team down.
A blind little touch pass that leads to this. Pastore through.
Magic again.
Here comes Di Maria. Back post goal.
Absolutely outstanding football. Again, it's rabbit hole attack. And they're knitted together, Phil. This is outstanding football, as I said earlier in the first half. It's an ant farm coming at you. There's so many passages to cover. And Paraguay just get picked apart. Here's the Mascherano ball. That one is absolutely exquisite, and that is the key pass. This one's an inch perfect. Who feeds it on? Pixel perfect. Absolutely outstanding. And 24-carat ingot goal.
Also give credit to Boliva. It gives you an idea when you play with someone like Lionel Messi. Foul here. You know where he's going to be. You know where he's supposed to be. Wasn't even looking at Messi. Just a little touch to the inside. 2 Paraguayan defenders closing, but Messi got there first to get it to Mascherano, who then threaded it through. But Argentina, Ray, they needed that goal. They needed to take some pressure off. They didn't want to see Diaz and Paraguay come back again.
Well, Pastore ventilated the pass right into stride. There was no hesitation because he didn't have to break stride or even think about it. It was such an invitational pass. Absolutely outstanding. And that's right out of the locker room.
Otamendi out near midfield, and a throw in for Paraguay. Di Maria's 14th goal. Done pretty much everything but score in this tournament. Now he's taken care of that. Messi, by the way, as the ball sails long, now past 900 minutes without scoring a goal from the run of play in official competition. But still leaving his footprint all over. Rojo, Boliva, Di Maria, but the wrong direction. Dribbles his way through 3 defenders and taken down just outside the box.
That's a nasty rash challenge by Bruno Valdez. Comes right through the back. And there again, there's that wonderful little touch pass again. Messi finds him. Look at this. This is why I called it an ant farm attack. You try stopping these passages. They don't look for passing lanes, they invent them. Absolutely Albi Celestial. And a kiss home, softer than a mother, and should put you to bed at night. Absolutely beautiful football.
Argentina may be putting Paraguay to bed, but there's still plenty of time, about 40 minutes of regulation. Came back from 2 goals in the second half in group play. They'll have to do it again.
Could you blame the defending? I mean, seriously? That for me.
Like you
You
say.
look at those players that were closing in on every pass, doing their damnedest, staying with the runners. What a touch again from Maché.
And Di Michelis returns the favor. Zabaleta takes it off the fire a bit.
Having words with Sergio Romero, saying, you know, don't cut it that fine, kid. But Mascherano bailing the goalkeeper out.
Obviously, yesterday's semi-final taken off the boil with the red card early in that first half. Gutsy effort for Peru that fell short. Now Paraguay, already 2 players substituted out for injury, needs to dig deep.
Going back to that goal again, it's going to be, for my money, one of the goals of the tournament. You look at the whole genesis of it. It is as intricate and delicate as a spider's web in the way they're connected. Every pass running off of the ball in full belief of one another. It's Argentina football at its best. That was their operatic high note of this tournament, unquestionably. No individual skill, absolute connecting the dots.
Messi
in
being
an amazing way.
chased in the wrong direction, dummied over by Di Michelis.
Wow.
Lifted back in, Benitez headed, but straight to Romero.
Well, I think a few enzymes go missing in Lionel Messi's brain right there.
This ball in from Benitez.
What he was doing with 3 players on him inside his own 18-yard box, trying to squirrel his way through.
Of two minds, Messi with a burst of speed, and he's got help down the left.
Brilliant!
Gets through the legs. Messi with help. Pass off Pastore. Denied. Rebound buried. Di Maria. Pastore can't score, but Messi threads the needle, and it's Di Maria to close out another masterpiece.
Again, Messi starts it the way only Messi can. Look at this way he gets this ball. He ushers it past the first defender, then 3 defenders, and then he's got the wherewithal to find the outside man running. And Di Maria, well, it's mop-up work, but this genius of a footballer, the touches that he delivers are soft, like the petals on a rose, and he sets up Pastore for a dagger kiss, but it's not home, it's well defended. Paraguay, they convene on Messi like iron filings on a magnet, and he still is able to evade every cut and thrust tackle. Astonishing, Leo. I think Shakespeare got it wrong. It wasn't King Lear, it was King Leo.
Off to the near side. Whistled across by Aguilar. Paraguay throwing numbers forward, but to no success.
Absolutely astonishing. They lost 2 goals for this team in blue and white stripes. Raising the bar ever more and seeing we can do better. Look out.
Messi again. Does not get an assist for that last one, but only because VR was the hero briefly. Argentina's defense did allow a goal just before the half. 313-minute goal-scoring streak ends as the smog continuing to settle in. I guess everyone in the Concepcion era that could not be at the stadium tonight threw an extra log on the fire.
Messi.
Barrios into the 18. Plays it square. Mascherano, but straight to Benitez, and his shot will roll all the way out for a throw-in.
Messi saying his apologies big time to Martin Di Michelis, who really dropped in the doo-doo.
Final substitution.
Give away, it's about the 5th one in this game where Messi's been a little bit slack in his distribution, thinking that he can weave his way out of very, very tight areas when he has supporting players.
Edo Valdez
His way all right.
limps out. Mentioned the groin injury, and the final substitution will check in for Paraguay as Oscar Romero making his 12th appearance. Midfielder out of Racing. So Paraguay needs a comeback. Another whistle from Ricci, where they will be playing on Friday against Peru in the consolation match. Argentina, Ray, throwing a bit of a gauntlet down against the hosts. Chile has to be impressed from what they've seen here tonight.
I said it in the first half, Phil. I still think the first half they played against this team is still their best complete football, but certainly the stars have come out tonight and they have been shining brightly. Messi, of course, is the North Star, but he's just twice as radioactive.
Mascherano over to Di Maria on a hat trick if he can. Messi again drives to the ref, sends it over into the middle. Pastore, but too close to VR. It was put on a platter and it slips off to the side.
He does it again. Messi's vision is absolutely astonishing. finds his player with the utmost of ease. He loves a challenge, does Messi. He probably wishes this pitch was 2 miles long.
The smog settling in, giving it an almost ethereal atmosphere.
Yeah.
As though this is where Messi lives.
Is that the fog, or is it that condensation in our booth?
Getting a little hot in here.
Well, you've got to warm the cockles of your heart watching this football from a different planet. Look at this.
Laid off by Aguero. Messi out wide and just plucked away before Di Maria could get a touch. Nice header, Zabaleta on the turn. Aguero had been leading Argentina in scoring. Now has some company from Di Maria. Tackled just outside the area.
Tries to bend his leg around Aguero, and that ain't happening.
Approaching the hour mark.
Clear foul, well spotted by the ref.
Paraguay down by 3 goals. Maybe more battling for pride at the moment. But if they can keep Argentina off the board and score another one soon, maybe make them sweat a bit. Villa with the right, Di Maria with the left, 2 men in the wall. Villar leaning slightly to his back post. Only Mascherano back, everyone else for Argentina around the 18 or in it. And they get a 5th. It's Villa. Well delivered, just missing the run of Messi. Carries through far side for Aguero.
Lovely ball sent in by Villa. Messi just missing it by a couple of big bushy eyebrows. That's a foul.
Tackle right near the corner of the box, about 24 yards away, and a yellow card. I think more persistent infringement against Benitez.
Wonderful Quicksilver, and the feet continue to dance, and that's got to be called. I don't know what the argument is.
Silva, Cáceres, and now Benitez, all with cautions in this match. Rojo and Villa also in there. Interesting also as well, considering especially for Argentina, Mascherano, Messi, and Aguero on yellows from the quarterfinals. When will Tata pull any or all of them to make sure they're available for the final? He knows, going even back to his Barcelona days, how hard it would be to get Messi to sit. Messi across and just above Di Michelis. Still in play though. Backheel Di Maria. And that brings a roar. Otamendi. Let's regroup, says Masche.
Situation with Tata Martino, the amount of players that he's got on yellow cards, when he does start bringing them in, it's got to be that witching hour around about the 75-minute mark. If it stays this way, that he's going to withdraw some of these star-studded players that they cannot be without in the final, the likes of Mascherano.
Burst to the inside from Bobadilla. Ex-Gladbach man running out of real estate, though. Di Maria sends it forward, and Aguero with a little burst. 2 on his heels. He tries the back heel. He'll be thinking he should have had that one. Pastore. Diaz on the sideline. What a job he has done turning around this Paraguay side in near record time. But this just a mountain too far. Paraguay already through their substitutes. Argentina yet to look at the bench. Villa. And out wide for Rojo. An interesting golden ball, golden boot debate as well.
A lot more space opening up here now for Argentina, and they're just still playing very much within themselves.
Michelis, slight deflection, enough to get it to Ira Pires.
as outstanding as they've played in their goals, have been absolute masterpieces, there's still going to be some lingering questions about this performance of Argentina. The way they've hit the snooze button just too many times. A team, if they do hold on to this result, if they meet Chile, they're not going to give them that many.
Zabaleta has an opening. Slammed shut by De Silva, though.
There's still some homework to be done for Tata Martino's men. That's what I'm saying. You need to polish the diamond even more. Again, it's a strange set of circumstances, Phil, because we've not seen better goals constructed in this tournament.
Only one goal allowed the last 5.
Argentina has. We've seen other wonderful goals, unquestionably, but the team ethic and that spirograph football has been so much on display here.
Cáceres to the inside. Barrios forced back. And all the way back to Villar. Rifles it, but only as far as Pastore off his chest.
That was unlucky.
Taken away.
Pastore tries to chest it down, and he was just about to step into it and take a good whisk over distance, but that's good interception in the end. It was Ortiz that stepped in the way.
Benitez on this near side. Paraguay down by 3 as you watch the breath on this chilly night mix in with the smoke that's settling down at the Municipal Stadium. Ray, what is it specifically that is missing? Because I agree with you, they're not quite clicking on all cylinders yet, which would be scary once they do.
Exactly, but when they click, Phil, it's like an absolute Formula One car redlining its engine. And it's not just direct play from this man, it's been the combination, the understanding throughout the team. But strangely, they fall away from it, as I said, just like in their sleepwalking state. Strange performance, all said and done.
Aguero battling for the ball with Pires, but can't get it away from the Udinese man.
What's more admirable, as admirable as anything, is that this Paraguayan side have attempted to lock down on them with really energized defending, but simply Argentina have played through it and then knowing where the next pass and the next pass comes after that.
Here's the substitute Romero pulling the ball back. Ortiz with another touch.
Good space again.
Just taken off his boot. Villa and Mascherano, who goes down acrobatically. Play on. Referee says no foul. Argentina will take it as Masche still getting up. Di Maria. Off to Messi, back to Di Maria. Looking for his 3rd goal. Soaring in the air, the 35-year-old legs of De Silva.
Wonderful attempt from the Manchester United man, Di Maria. Lovely stab pass that is literally 1 inch away from finding Pastore.
Right. On Friday, the consolation match, if you will, the 2 Cinderellas whose midnight struck just 1 match early. Should be a good one, though, with Peru taking on this Paraguay side. And then on Sunday, if this score holds, Chile against Argentina for all the marbles. You talk about Argentina maybe still having some work to do. Chile has been forced, even up a man, for more than an hour against Peru.
Yeah.
Only a narrow win.
That's right. In that type of tournament, again, you're handing out accolades. You go to Jamaica and look at how they played and kept the scoreline down against teams that were expecting to run up an old cricket score against Jamaica, and it didn't happen. And that's the type of tournament we've got. It set the tone early on, and it's continued. So who knows what's going to happen? You wouldn't be surprised if Paraguay were able to get a pull this closer.
Well, Paulo Guerrero had a hat-trick to jump into the scoring lead. Vidal has been perhaps one of the most consistent scorers but now surpassed by Edu Vargas. Mentioned Aguero's 2 goals had been in the lead, but now Di Maria there, so still a race for Golden Boot and Golden Ball. Likely to go to the victor, and you'd figure Jorge Valdivia would be up there if it's Chile. And even without a goal from the run of play, Messi has been unstoppable. Did not get the World Cup last year, but maybe a chance to end a 22-year drought in Copa America trophies. Pires, Romero. Lifted forward, Ortiz. Nice ball wide, Bobadilla giving chase Valdez. Cáceres just got away, tries to make up for it, but can't. Mascherano clears it away in time, and now here comes Argentina again. Villa to Messi. On cruise control. Dances past one, through another. Pastore back for Messi. Messi! Denied by VR, and it's cleared away.
Staggering.
Everything but a goal.
Jaw-dropping genius from Messi. Again, he shreds the defense like tissue paper. Take a look how he gets past that onrushing defender there and then gets it back, and then he hesitates instead of pulling the trigger, and he looks at heaven and curses it with his bootless cries. But wonderful setup again.
Now a chance on the far side. Barrios, and it trickles aside. Don't forget to get all your gear at the official store of Copa America 2015.
Take a look.
WorldShockerShop.com.
3 players, and he still picks out the pass rather than pulling the shot here. The feet continue to dance. He pulls in 2 defenders. Ole looks to get it back first time from Pastore, the hesitant, and right there he just cannot rein it in, but he still gets a shot off that's well saved by VR.
Up the line, stolen away. Good work, Ortiz. Well, I think the one thing that this tournament has proven, there are no easy teams. Even Bolivia showed some spark. Little trip at the top, and it will be called by Ricci, saying that he was bursting forward to goal, but no card coming from the Brazilian.
Wonderful distance this. These are the ones that practice till the moon goes to bed at night. On the practice field, who's going to take the responsibility? They all look as if they want a piece of this.
By the way, credit to Sandro Ricci keeping this game
Rojo
from boiling over.
putting his hand on the shoulder, and certainly enough in the referee's opinion, he wanted a card.
Benitez still arguing that it should have been a red, as he would have been in on goal, but Paraguay needs something to go their way. Ricci getting the semifinal with Argentina in it, Ray. It looks like it'll be the Colombian Wilmar Roldan who will be the likely man holding the whistle. As Argentina and Chile to do battle on Saturday, but there's still time to play here, about 20 minutes left.
Now, Victor Caceres is edging up to this and taking his gunslinger pose right here. It looks as if it's all coming down to the 15 with a whisk and crack.
A chance for Cáceres, and he launches it over.
And a pull vote.
Missed the pit. Cáceres, and I think they've gone a long way. Vanega with the foul. Final 15 minutes.
Nice turn.
Bobadilla shielding off. Zabaleta almost forced it past Otamendi. Second chance, Cáceres bounces away Benitez and pushed wide. Vanega. Deflects. Ortiz.
Nicely.
Bobadilla. Not a bad idea
By Bobadilla. Lovely turn. Quick little ball into him. And then sweep with it.
Messi and Martino having a chat. Wonder what that was about. Gago loosening up, perhaps. And it is Gago who will be coming in. So Mascherano, who was one of those players in danger, replaced as Gago makes his Copa America debut.
Tremendous performance from Mascherano. Javier Mascherano, absolutely top class. Now, take that back, world class. Other than that, one big blot on his copybook where he left the door open for Paraguay. That was the one that he'll be ruining when he puts his head to sleep tonight. But other than that, Phil, he was really tremendous.
He can rue with a smile when he looks at the scoreboard.
That's right, but there's another one. He'll have learned the lesson, I would think. Because against that Chilean side, they will be down your throat even more quickly.
Whipped in, Pires trying to get to the deflection. Gago with the touch. Snap down near side, Romero.
Nice run.
Tries to burst in, well defended Zabaleta. Falls for Bobadilla. Ole is coming around from the Paraguayan faithful who have made the trek. Not quite as many red and white shirts in the stands as blue and white. You'll have to take our word for it because almost everyone covered up in a winter jacket right now. Bobadilla wide to Pires. Good ball. One touch to the middle. Maybe should have taken a second touch. Pires onside. Measures this one just over Barrios. And it leads to this burst of speed forward. Di Maria into the center for Banega. Messi casually on this right side. Just in time. Lifting it back towards Banega. Tries to adjust, but headed away. Nice defense from Aguilar. Good run, Barrios. Otamendi calling for the flag, not coming. Barrios trying to fight through the Valencia man and draws the foul. You could say that the favored team won today, but this has been a tournament so far that even if the favorite has won, they have been tested. Doesn't quite show it on the scoreboard, and I think that was probably the adjustments at the half. Whatever the speech was for Martino, he made sure that Argentina was not going to leave it for late. The goal from Barrios just before the half. Can almost say it was one of the worst things that could have happened. Maybe Paraguay relaxed a bit when Argentina took advantage.
No, I don't think they relaxed at all. I think they were taking advantage of. There's a little bit too much space to play for Argentina, unquestionably, but did they make them pay?
Gago, not one to call his own number, finds Messi.
Great ball.
Around the back of the referee. Di Maria measures, delivers, headed by Aguero, and he's on the board. He's got his third, and they're running away.
Astonishing with its accuracy. Messi, as ever, starts it when it comes back to Leo. Right here, and then that fly's eye vision to find the right man with the right pass, and he sends it in. The curler is wonderful from Fideo. The noodle supplies it to the meatball, and that's a wonderful dinner, Albi Celeste style.
Well, the meatball only 5'8". How can he be so dominant in the air?
I'll tell you how he can be so dominant in the air, that he doesn't have to jump, he doesn't have to move, he doesn't have to do anything but to slick his hair back when he gets service like that from Mamma Mia, Di Maria.
And just on cue, exit stage right for the goal scorer Aguero. Now one off the Golden Boot lead. Gonzalo Higuain will step in. By the way, that goal for Aguero, 29th, behind only Batistuta, Messi, Crespo, and Maradona. And he's still just 27. Outlet ball intercepted Rojo. They've already given the hand to Paraguay. Can they add a sixth? Villa. So all the substitutes played. Messi, the only one that came in with a yellow that could still be in danger. Villa and Rojo getting yellows on the day. Zabaleta wrestled off the ball. Higuain, what a hero for Napoli, but it could have been so much more. Final match, chance for a Champions League. 2 goals to his name, but missed a penalty. You also wonder what's going to happen on the other side with this. Down goes Pete. He's trapped into the corner. A certain Edu Vargas coming back. Poke free, but only to Messi. Gets it back as he falls. Keeps it alive. Blasted by Higuain, and there is the 6th. Again, unstoppable.
Just absolutely outstanding. Intricate, deadly. And of course, you know who's involved. Higuain hammers it home joyously. Zabaleta feeds it in. It gets cut out, and then Messi says, hand me the keys now, guys. I'm driving. Messi plays the 1-2, slips, doesn't get down again. But then beautifully, Higuain says, I'll carry your spit bucket, Leo, and pummels this one in. For how many?
Well, now up to 6. And Higuain getting his 25th, breaking a tie with Artime, and now just behind Aguero in 6th spot overall.
Wonderful deconstruction of his team. Ramon Diaz, sad eyes looking on. He was a fabulous player in his day for River Plate. Napoli, Fiorentina, Internazionale. But he's seen his team absolutely destroyed and demoralized with imperious football led by the maestro Messi. And the cynics and the critics and the statisticians will keep on throwing rocks at him. And what he'll do with them rocks, he'll build greater roads to his magnificent record, and it will loom large coming up.
5 minutes.
Looks as if it's certainly going to be Chile against Argentina in what all the neutrals would have thought is the best final between the best footballing teams. The cream rises to the top.
Off to Silva. Is this,
yes,
the evolution of Messi? We've seen bits of it, but the goals still continue to fall at Barcelona, even as he's slid more into the playmaking role. But for Argentina, his fingerprints on everything here today.
You said he's evolving, yeah.
Not quite Kafka-esque.
Well,
more beautiful.
He's engaged to genius. Just imagine what it'll be like when he marries it. And that might even convert some of the skeptics, Phil. Nothing like scoring for forwards like Higuain as well, but he knows where his bread is buttered.
By the way, Brazil with 7 goals in the 1997 semifinal. Argentina won off of that record. And still about 4 minutes plus. Messi at the midfield. Probably won't be much time added, with little doubt. Villa. Ooh! A cannon, but this one with the forearm as Bobadilla just decks Otamendi.
But it's not a yellow card. No, that's...
And somewhere Zambrano for Peru is wondering what happened to this game. Hat-trick of assists for Messi.
Amazing how that isn't a yellow card. The security guards, they were nearly around the corner, thinking it was grievous bodily harm.
Well, for Messi, gets rid of it quickly to Villa, dropping it to Gago. Higuain just missed the run of Banega. And
poor ball from Higuain.
Paraguay continuing to fight. Bobadilla, though, surrounded. Cuts to the inside, and Otamendi gets his revenge. Briefly, perhaps, Barrios. Everyone was wondering where the goals would come from. Paraguay just wondering where they will end. Rojo to midfield. Nice from Higuain. Banega battling. A little grab, though, and it will go the other way. Peru, Paraguay in the third-place game Friday night. Saturday evening, it will be Chile, the hosts, looking for their first Copa America crown against an Argentina looking to tie Uruguay with a record 15th. And it might just be all up in the air. Little stutter step. They'll have to reset and try it again. Sending it through to the back post. De Silva slamming into Rojo. And play on, says the ref. No foul. Trickles away and out for a corner. Be interesting to see the ex-Barcelona man Alexis Sanchez, who has led Chile to the final, take on Lionel Messi. Bravo on one side, Mascherano on the other. Little Blaugrana tilt. Romero to the back post, headed down. Aguilar took a hit as he tries to feed it back. No argument from Otamendi. And to added time we go, and probably not much of it. Bobadilla from about 26 or 27. Ooh, blasted low and gobbled up by Villar.
Well, that's the final whistle, and an authoritative display from Argentina.
Most valuable player, Angel Di Maria with his 2 goals and the assist. The MVP brought to you by Delta. Keep climbing.
Well, it's a great choice. Di Maria was the thunderclap at the end of so many lightning attacks, wasn't he? But my Lord, will he ever be thanking Lionel Messi? Because in a game like this, when you're bringing Messi, you're bringing an absolute gun to a knife fight, and there was no containing him. His fingerprints were all over the goals. It cannot be denied. Paraguay just not able to stop the wonderful invention, sparkling creativity, deadly finishing, on, and yet they probably have to improve this standard to beat Chile.
And again, MVP brought to you by Delta. Keep climbing. Di Maria and Messi in Argentina climb to the final against the host Chile. And what a blast that should be come Saturday. Paraguay will need to try and regroup to take on a Peruvian squad that gave Chile all they could shorthanded in the other semifinal.
They call it a blast, Phil. Hey, Lord, there'll be more flair in that Copa America final with Chile, red hot chili peppers against Argentina. More flair than a 1970s high school reunion. It will be footballistas right, left and centre in front of their rabid home crowd. They will be elevated. Wonderful compliment, Phil, beautifully framed. But I still think Messi's men have got a little bit of sharpening up to do.
So that sets the stage. Paraguay against Peru. Both teams needing to regroup after semifinal losses on Friday night. And then on Saturday evening, it will be Chile against Argentina for all the marbles. Argentina in convincing fashion with a 6-1 victory over Paraguay.